All right, let's get ready. For the first, we're gonna be live. Oh, let me still out to live roll. Almost done. Let me quickly do this. Hey, your friends are live. Just getting this thing ready. Doing three things at once. I am. Broadcast. Should be an easy way to do this. All right. All right, there we go. Voila. Let me. Hello, family. Let me mute that while I try to pin this on the chat, which it seems to be taking longer than it normally does because it's annoying. There it is. There, that pin. All right, fantastic, cool. Now we open up. Sorry, family. Got a lot of things down at once. Welcome to the Betterment Broadcast. I'm your host, Rack Raven. We're just now going to find a fantastic PDF, which is, I think it's here. There it is. Welcome to the 184th show. That's 184 times where we have come together to work with our brothers and sisters in the Black community to find solutions for Black challenges. Hurrah, hooray, fantastic, very good. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend we're live. And don't forget to follow the Black Betterment Building Instagram page, all that. So we start as we always start with the shocking truth that we are dealing with a double dilemma, and it is Black people can be individually efficient but are collectively inadequate, unfortunately. And Black people may know a friendly non-Black person. However, collectively, Black people have no friends. Now, don't be shocked. You're thinking, oh, no, that sounds terrible. What can be done? Well, the problem is a double dilemma, but the solution is Black Betterment. That's right. So what is Black Betterment? Black Betterment is Black people helping Black people on Black issues for betterment. We promote the lifestyle of Black betterment on this show. Big up Brother Stanley and Dr. Z, or Z, depending on where you're based. So that's right. This entire show is about the lifestyle of Black betterment. That's right. Black people helping Black people on Black issues. Can that really solve all our problems? I think it can. So when we practice Black betterment, we focus on triple triumph, which is Black families, Black economics, and Black health. These are the three areas we always try to, boost, promote, and all that good stuff. So, it's what we're talking about. So let's deal with that. So when we do send out the link, which is already stuck to the actual page itself, if you want to jump in and have a discussion, feel free to jump in. All brothers and sisters are welcome, but we do ask that you remember discipline, dedication, discernment, and dignity as the 4D values. If you can remember these four things, it will make helping Black people just that teensy bit more easier. Yes, sir, it will. Oh, yes, I should know. We have the evidence for the show, so please do. Doesn't make the shows as fantastic as other shows because, Black people don't mistreat each other. And we know that Black people mistreat each other is very good for the algorithm. Very fun and amazing. Aha. But generally, in the long run, it doesn't work out. So it's best we just don't do that anymore. All right. So where are we? What's the next one? Okay. Try to use derogatory language. Try to use descriptive language if you can. I know it's hard. I was discussing this with a friend earlier that unfortunately we are prone to use derogatory language, especially when talking to each other, and sometimes when you're trying to find solutions that might not be the best way. All right. So what is today's fantastic show about? Well, tell your friends today's fantastic show is about Anti-Blackness Apology Tour. I'll say that again, Anti-Blackness Apology Tour. We discussed what an Anti-Blackness Apology Tour would look like and how it could benefit Black community. And self-love saves money. We discussed the multiple ways how self-love can save Black people money. So those are the topics. So while we wait for people to jump in and get ready to jump in, we always start the show with news. And how the news works is the algorithm. I'm on some social network on this particular one, it's Instagram. And some videos come up. So let me open some videos and we can just to get, oh, what's going on there? Hold on. Come on. present, share screen. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, so let me find some of the videos now. Let me press this button. Present videos. There you go. So this is some videos. I'm trying to download one as you speak. So let me see if I can download two at once. So what should we look at first? Not that one. Nope. Not that one. Oh, is that got any sound? All right. So this is yeah, well, first off, let's look at the women's space. Last week, a week before, they were trying to mistreat Diana. Talking about wanting to. Oh, stop playing, please. Stop playing, please. Can you stop? I'm trying to. There you go. Yeah, we were talking about in the UK, Diana Abbott, a politician or ex-politician, kind of, because they've kind of banned her for alleged anti-Semitic remarks. But anti-black racists were mistreating her, saying that she should be shot. And obviously, because of the actions they didn't agree with, all black women should be shot. So we say it's definitely time for black men to come up and make a stance and to defend black women. Perfect opportunity. And also to remind everyone that collectively, black people have no friends. All right, excellent. So don't forget that. But yeah, the sisters came together, and a lot of brothers as well. They came out to support Sister Diana Abbott. And regardless of your thoughts on politics and non-politics, it's more so solidarity with concepts, as in black women are being mistreated. So you tried to make a stand, and they had a gathering, and just that was
bring my sister to me, man. Bring my sister to me. Bring my sister to me. Diane. This is my sister from 1987. I love you so much, bro. Listen, right?
There you go. We got Mr. Mark Smith as well, and all the family in the house tonight. Tell your friends to tell a friend we're live. That's one of the news before we start our show. So some other videos, the algorithms, video. What else could we talk about? Oh, some shocking stuff there. We'll play in a bit. What about this one? Yeah, one other thing. We talked about this before, but it's just concept of black men always like it's good to have your feminine side. Let me say it properly, and show your emotions. But sometimes I think we go too far. We always say we were trying to reform black men to just have a bit more sternness on show. I just came across this. Might be old, but it's just some brother was crying for. I think this European gentleman did something good. I think if you know, let me know. He started crying, but listen.
Thank you for what you did 3 years ago today. Please tell me your thoughts on this third anniversary.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what maybe some heroic deed from a European, whether it's, but I think sometimes brothers just prepare yourself before you do the show. A lot of black men crying. Not that there's anything wrong with black crying, but sometimes it comes to we're trying to reform masculinity in black men, and but I could be wrong. But what do we know? What do we know about all that kind of stuff? So anyway, this something came across my algorithm before I'll show it. Also saw this. It's quite old, but it came again, so I played it. This
question, because I've been reading some of the comments.
It's for those who can't see. It's a European woman with box braid, some kind of braid styling, and she's asking the question.
And I just want an answer to that question. This is a question for black women. Do you guys not feel supported by black men? Do you feel like black men don't support you? And if so, why?
Yeah, so when European white women do this kind of stuff, best to not really play up to it, especially when they're looking that kind of way. But question, and the consensus, unfortunately, in many areas is that a lot of black women do not feel supported by black men. Hence why we have Black Betterment to rectify that. But what we won't be doing is starting these conversations via non-black people and also using for clout algorithms and those kind of stuff, which could be, could not be, don't know. But just always be aware of that. That's why Black Betterment in the doctrine, in the rule set, in the template is black people helping black people on black issues. This makes solutions that more easier, you see. Let me see if I can actually find that thing. Did I put that in? Where's my video? There was another video I wanted to get in time. Let's see if I can get it in here. Press that button there. Press paste. Paste. Can you do the paste? You want to do it? No, I don't know. This technology is just You would never know I work in tech. You would never get paid. There you go. So let me download. Excellent. Why we look for another video? Right. Next video. What else? There's a very shocking one I saw as well. This is tied into the self-hate stuff, but we'll show a bit early as well. Oh no, this is another. We showed a Somali brother last week, and we always, we showed a Somali brother, and I see Dominic, see brother, big up brother Dominic. I see brother Stanley's jumping on his Euro defense again. Well done, brother Stanley. Where are we? Yeah, so this brother, Somali brother, he goes around and he was mistreated in India, and now he's in another same country or where it is. But let's see what he found there.
The night, second place had the smallest elevator in the world, but guess what? They don't accommodate Africans. This is the first time in my life I've ever experienced something like this, being denied accommodation based on my ethnicity. But yeah, Satya and Paraganj, stuff them, bro. Eventually I get to this third place, and right now I just want to check in.
All right, so yeah, there's actually brothers in India that don't serve Africans. We were talking about this concept of brothers from Somali and their perceptions of African or black and this kind of stuff, and who identifies, who doesn't. And unfortunately, what we find is no matter where you go, no matter how you might or might not identify, others have their kind of benchmark of what they perceive someone to be, and they perceive you to be of Afro-tropical descent. They will, they'll probably they have a ruling, unfortunately, and this knowing this is important. Hence why we promote Black Betterment to all the Afro-tropical brothers out in the world and sisters. This is the solution. You see, black people having black people and black issues. If the word black tricks you, we can use African. If the word African tricks you, we can use Sun people. Whatever you like, we have all the rules. It's all synonymous here. Techniques, tactics, good stuff. All right. So what I was trying to download something. Well, that's what we're going to start the show soon. So tell your friends we're live. We'll show one more, maybe two, and then we'll jump into the. I think we'll start with the. Maybe we'll start with the anti-blackness. No, maybe the self. Let's start with the self-love problems, because we can. I can do it this way. Oh, that was a good one. Now we'll come back to it.
I think
we'll come back to it another time. Look at that. We saw this. This was circulating as well. This is very sad.
Ask where are you from?
Yeah, right. I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm African, but honestly, I like Americanized African men. He's just a little too African in any insulting way, honestly.
I'm not.
So what made you say he's too African? I think the strong facial features, yeah.
Okay. And which part of Africa are you from?
I'm half Kenyan, half Ghanaian. I'm like east and west.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, these shows where they do these popular balloon stuff and people judging people by their physicalities, kind of stuff. Yeah, and then we have a sister who's from Kenya. And, did you say Kenya and Uganda? I can't. She said two East-based African countries. I couldn't remember it. But once again, she says he's. I think culturally he's not American enough, and his face is too African. So this is what we're dealing with. This is the kind of self-hate that we see. It's not. It's all over the diaspora. It's all over the continent. And that's why we promote Black Betterment, because a lot of the brown sisters won't even know. They won't even know they've been conditioned to think this way. It's never good to see. And we'll probably might do that show again to cover that. And we're going to actually tackle into. So she said that he's what was very important. She said he had strong features or something like that, African strong features, which is never good when someone does these things. I see Robert Stanley is doing his Euro defense trolling again. Stanley, we should use the case study very soon. Look for it. Let me go to. I think I downloaded something just now, so I can find it. We've got one good news or something. Oh, there we go. Is this one? Yeah. So big up brother Respect. He went to. There was a video I was going to show, unfortunately, of a young brother being mistreated by anti-black racists who will demand he kiss their feet. And obviously the brothers heard of this and they went to see the brothers. So let's see what's going on.
Now where the incident happened with a brother and a big brother from the area that's going to look after him, get him into training, boxing, self-defense. Now Anthony Joshua, yeah, he said you're a lion. You saw the message he sent you, innit? Yeah, he said you're a lion. Yeah, and these gloves we've sent for you to start your boxing in the self-defense. Yeah, it's strength and love every time. Yeah, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours we travel for you. You're not on your own. We just come down here to send a message to the whole world. Yeah, that we got our little brothers, and there'll be no form of bullying. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna rise up. You're gonna keep focused, and this ain't even affected him. When I saw the brother, and I thought I was gonna find someone that was a bit, you know, after the team, sometimes things break it down. Now I saw a strong brother. Yeah. So a lion. Yeah. And you know you got us. We're not gonna talk online. We're not gonna do no video react to your trauma. We're not gonna comment about what we would do. We're gonna ride out to where you are, make sure you're alright, and look out for you long term, not short term. Yeah. You hold us to that. Yeah. The gloves. Big up the broski that linked it up. Big up my brother Tomo. Yeah. And big up Farron. Yeah. He's there with us in spirit. Yeah. And big up the Street Fathers, Gangs Unite, Forever Family, my Patreons, everyone. Udea, Carnell, Steppers only.
Big up, brother there, big up there. So now we're going to segue into the topic of. Oh wow, look at that! So I just saw an advert I designed come up on the randomly on the internet. Algorithms, they're crazy. Sorry, what was I? I don't know. Let's take a screen grab of that. All right, there you go. So it does work. Anyway, what was I? Let me stop waffling to myself. Yeah. So what we're going to do? We're going to go back to the topic at hand, which is first one. Let's do the self-love saves money. Yeah. So this is one Racial Sales Family. A friend of mine, good friend of mine. He gave me a link to a non-black Instagram page. It could be in the Middle European, like Turkey, or maybe around that kind of area, you know, where they do operations cheaply and stuff like this. And you know, what I realize is there's a lot of brothers and sisters, or I should say sisters and husbands, more so sisters at the moment, and it's you know, they're obviously having issues with their phenotype, as we saw the African sister there when she was picking the husband or the boyfriend, and they're not best pleased themselves, so they're going to these kind of places. So let me see if I can find some of the videos. Oh, for those, hopefully you can see. We'll play a few videos. Oh, where's this thing gone now? There we go. Give me 7 seconds, family. Dun. So when we download stuff, let's reset the shows. 100. Yep, there it is. So let's go to the face. So let's go through these. Let's see if do all that. All right, let me turn this down. Remind me because I'm on the speakers. Yeah. So this have something like this.
While I pop a ball off of your chain swinging, clang clang, and it costs a lot. I'm always at the guala, yeah, and you are not bad. Keep on going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
That's one video of her sister, but then there's much more. So obviously you see that she's more Africoid, broad nose, and then I think there's a certain nose she's got done smaller, but then it gets more kind of severe and others as well. Let's see if we can find stuff. So there's a lot here. So there's another sister here with kind of a very distinctive. I think they call it ethnorhinoplasty. Is that what's called? Ethnic rhinoplasty. I don't know why they call it that. Maybe you can know better than me. Obviously, people have choices what they want to do with their money, but obviously, our thing is if we can make you love the features that you're born with, you'll save much more money. You see, you'll save much more money. Here's another one. Do what you do. Hey. We're getting those done, but let's get more down the rabbit hole because I was looking at more stuff. Hold on, see if I can find it. Okay, well, some of these. Hold on, let's see if I can find one. Let's see this one. Sorry if it's so loud. I don't know. Don't touch my soul. Nope. There's a thing that they're going to, and you know, I mean, some people they say, oh, it's, you know, it's you know, they're gonna. Oh, there's a gentleman as well. Let's see what he looks like. I this music, man. You can at least play the There you go. He's playing his nose. There's the forearm. And then after, there you go. It's the pointless. That's what they're trying to get. don't know what influences they're playing us, but they want that smooth round kind of Africoid nose. They want the kind of sharpie one with a bowl in it, that kind of stuff. This is another sister. Let's have a sneak peek. Bon appetit. Right, there you go. Wonderful sister. She wants to have that definition on the nose and the nose bridge and more pointy and this and the side views really gives it away. There you go. That's what they go for, that kind of pointy. And people, that's what they want to have. That's what they want to have. Let's see this lady here. This lady, another sister. Quite a lot of brown. What's his music on there? So I have to turn it off. It's just not doing it. There you go. There's a new sister's new face, a new nose. Yep. That's the beforehand and afterwards. All right, that's what they want. That's what they want. So yeah. So this is, we're just saying that would if black people actually like their features, if we had a campaign to make black people actually generally like the ethnic traits that black people have, would that actually save money? Because if you actually like what you're seeing, you won't spend a mortgage to go and get it changed, I'm assuming. Could be wrong though. That could be a campaign if people agree, but maybe they think, no, it's none of our business. If people don't like their face that comes with their ethnicity and they want to change it, then maybe they should. But maybe if the world, or at least the black community, was highly embracing of the African features, the black features, and this kind of stuff, maybe they would save money and not want to change it. But I could be wrong, you see, fam. I could actually be wrong. Anything I say is not true at all. That's what could be happening. So I don't know. That's not what you think. That's not. The link is actually in the thing there. So that's not what you think. Could be kind of controversial topic, but one of the things we do everything with love. We're not here to dictate how people should live or not live, but I think it's in the black people's collective best interest to promote self-love of all kinds, especially phenotypical love, and know that if you're born a certain way, unless you've got some kind of illness or some challenge going on, it's probably best to for us to teach loving. So I'm getting messages. Yeah. So yeah. This is, we need to, these type. No, this so very important stuff here. Very. Let's read some of the comments. Maybe highlighting the one in people having the surgery is making it seem more of a problem than it actually is. I hear that. Well, the thing is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get. Well, there's actually a lot of people getting this done, right? And what we try to do is we try to highlight things just so we're aware they're coming in, because sometimes things come in you're unaware of them. But also, it's a concept of, if this is happening, could there be? Because we are solution based here. If you didn't know that, so we try to find solutions and we try to campaign for solutions. So one thing I would say, I wouldn't recommend like ostracizing and this kind of stuff. I recommend, like I said, everyone has their own strategy, but maybe just be more concerned, because the thing is, a lot of these people are already in a low self-esteem place. So if we then try to harshly go for them, it could be a problematic thing. I know some people disagree with this. They say, hit them when they're down. I understand that. But sometimes we have different tactics. Yeah, it is. The thing is, this is what it is. Self-hate is an issue, but I mean, people getting the surgery. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't know. This is what we're trying to deal with here. You see, it's hard to, you got to think someone has a face that is very distinctive of an ethnic group or a people group, and they want to change that thing. So you have to, quantify in your mind, does that qualify for any form of self-hate? And could that have been influenced heavily by their surroundings, by branding, by historical traumas, by so many things that seem to plague black people? Could it be a continuation of that? Some say yes. There you go. So yeah, there you go. I think that was just make sure. So that's stuff. If anyone wants to jump in, it could be a very touchy subject for many. Feel free to jump in to let us know. So we play this so we can have campaigns to make people feel better, so they don't feel they need to do that, and hopefully save them money on their mortgage or on their other life choices. Oh, come on, man, where's this thing gone? Share screen. There we go. Everything just disappears when it wants. Oh, mercy. All right. Yeah, so that was the self-love saves money. We discussed multiple ways how self-love can save Black people money. If you wish to jump in at any time, you can to jump in to discuss that very important topic. Let me remove some of these videos for now. I'll come back to them. Maybe I'll keep one or two. Oh no, keep one or two just for a bit. Get rid of the this sister's one. Get rid of this sister's one. Let's keep these two. Just there you go. And maybe I'll get rid of this for now. Shall I keep it? Let's see what the brothers are saying. You're correct. The most people won't get the surgery, but if you conducted an anonymous survey, they asked Black people if they could change their fees, but they do it. Very important, you see. And there's a lot of people I speak to. The reason they haven't gone is because they actually can't afford it, and maybe a lot of them are actually spending their time to try to raise money for surgery. And I'm just saying that, you know, maybe it might be in Black people's best interest to create campaigns that make Black people love themselves. So that £10,000 could be used on maybe a Black institution, maybe, you know, a house for the family, maybe you know, some kind of learning program that teach them how to engineer or something. Who knows? Something that could be a bit more constructive. No, not that your face isn't constructive, but if you're changing a face that is distinctively ethnic, then I just wonder, maybe we can do something. Maybe we've fallen short in the community and we need to sort that out. Could be wrong though. All right, so where are we? Let's go to the next topic. So the next thing is very important, and that is Anti-Blackness Apology Tour. All right, we discussed what an Anti-Blackness Apology Tour would look like and how it could benefit the Black community. So what this comes from is when people groups mistreat the Jewish community, they tend to take them around. They have to go and they have to pay, and you know, to go to certain kind of historical museums and sites and events, and then at the end they have to pay like an institution maybe here and there. And we say, well, and also they get, you know, certain sponsors will leave them, this kind of thing. You know, so we're saying could the Black community utilize a technique like that? So because there's a lot of anti-Black racism that goes on, and if Black people financially benefit every time it happens, maybe that might be an incentive to stop it, or it just might be beneficial for Black people to actually hear it. So I've downloaded a video of something similar. Let's go. Why not? So this is Elon Musk, the South African individual, and I think he made some statements about Jewish people. So this is what they did for him.
Elon Musk is visiting Israel today. He toured a kibbutz attacked last month by Hamas. The tech billionaire has come
Big up, brother Dominic, a very important contributor to the show.
Under fire for endorsing an anti-Semitic post on his platform X. The video shows Musk taking a photo or video of the devastation while being escorted by security officials around the kibbutz. Officials say Musk is also due to meet with Israeli President Isaac Herzog. The trip comes amid reports that X may lose up to $75 million in revenue. That's according to internal documents. Advertisers like Coca-Cola and Microsoft have been pulling advertisements following a rise in
Sorry, even though he's a billionaire, a lot of his sponsors from him, and it could be a lot because of that level. Everything is bigger, isn't it? So he owns, you know, some, you know, Twitter, the original Twitter, called it X, and you know, so he's gone on a tour to apologize.
Anti-Semitism on the platform. So Ryan Mack is joining us now to talk a little bit more about this. He's a technology reporter with the New York Times. Great to see you. Before we get to the ad revenue declining, can you give us a little more context when it comes to Musk's trip to Israel?
Sure. He has a previous relationship with Netanyahu. He did an event with him at the Tesla factory in September. And so he has a bit of damage control to do right now with his own kind of public image. He is, you know, often inserting himself into major public conflicts or incidents. And he made this trip out kind of on short notice to, you know, tour obviously some of the devastation and some of the problem sites in the country.
Yeah, Ryan, it seems interesting. I mean, he's doing this, and kudos to him for that visit. But it doesn't strike me that if I just look at the reaction on X, that people are taking this as a way to dismiss the allegations that have been made against him previous to this visit, right? Which is that which is not only that there are certain ads that show up next to anti-Semitic tweets, whatever they call them now. not called
Posts.
posts.
Yes.
Posts.
I think they're called X's.
Okay, well, and the things that he himself has retweeted. I mean, I haven't seen. Maybe I missed it. Have we seen an apology, a tweet or post from Musk saying, "Look, I may have been wrong about the things that I reposted or the things that I amplified on my platform"? It's great to do this visit. Bibi Netanyahu does not speak for all Jewish people over the world, so I'm just wondering what kind of an impact this is having on those reports of what I just listed there.
Yeah, to your question about an apology, I mean, no, he hasn't said I'm sorry or anything like that. I mean, the closest thing so far he said is he's tweeted, that he's not anti-Semitic. That something like that couldn't be further from the truth. But to be frank, I mean, he has been dogged by these questions for months, long before the most recent kind of posts that got him into this hot water. He's done these tweets about George Soros in the past. He's engaged with far-right members on Twitter. These are questions that have hampered him since his ownership of the company, since he took over.
I think I've got a question. Can you understand that I'm saying we are? Can you understand that saying we are inadequate with no friends could be intimidating defeats? Very good point. Jump on, Brother Mark, please. We should back that. Very important. Those who have seen myself and other black veterans walk around the interweb, we start most conversations with acknowledging that unfortunately black people we are collectively inadequate, meaning we collectively we don't really value teamwork and working inward for solutions. We've obviously been taught not to do this, so there's no real motivation to do so because of it. Many challenges. So we actually started saying we're trying to reverse being collectively inadequate and try to be collectively efficient. But some people say this is not good. This is a defeatist. No, actually, this is the strategy. We are like you have to understand how marketing works, also how motivation works. When you are an alcoholic, you have to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and go, "My name is Jimbo, and I'm an alcoholic." And by saying that, it makes you want to change it. If you want to know why brothers like me and sisters black bearers are so consistent, because we know what we're trying to fix. This doesn't lower our self-esteem. If anything, it heightens it because we know that there's a goal we cannot shift from at all. But we understand many brothers and sisters are very new to this. Some people's strategies only talk about positive things, perceived positive things, because that's what motivates. But once again, this is the strategy we're going with. It's very good for the algorithms as well. And if anyone can disprove these cases that black people are not collectively inadequate, then what we should do is whenever we find the adequate concept, we can then use that as the goal to the template to follow. Until we can have a bigger number of black people practicing unity and utility at a high rate that actually then by osmosis helps the rest, then it's probably safe to say that unfortunately black people are collectively inadequate, and unfortunately collectively black people have no friends. Also, you also try to see the self-sabotaging that goes on. It's quite a high level. And some people might even look at some of the topics we're covering as in people trying to not be best pleased with their face and, going to change it and spend a lot of money in other communities to change their face to look more like those communities, rather than save your money to build your own community. That could be a contributing factor to being collectively inadequate. But once again, that's what the debates are about. Feel free to jump in, Brother Mark Smith. It'll be a good. I've always invited people as I go around to debate this concept. Are people collectively inadequate? And if they are, should we even mention it? Should we pretend that this statement does not exist? Well, we have to jump in. Phil, you've got a space here to speak. But until you jump in, we'll carry on listening to this apology tour, which is a part of our second topic. So let's go.
$44 billion last year. And they continue to hamper him. And so he'll be continued to followed by these questions for months.
Yeah, it's really confounding that he continued to do this sort of thing because almost immediately after he took over Twitter and changed it to X, ad sales started to soften, right? Because he was talking about opening it up, lifting free speech and all this sort of stuff. And there was a real concern about what was going to end up on this platform. And here we are now, and there's a lot of despicable stuff on the platform, and internal documents from the company indicate that they're really concerned that they could be losing way more money than they even initially thought. What do those internal documents show?
So the interesting context here is that ad revenue was already down. I mean, over the summer we reported that sales revenue, ad revenue was down over 90% in the U.S. Already. or down 60% in the U.S. already. Now, after these comments, after this one post that he made, engaging a white nationalist conspiracy theory, advertisers are pulling back in the most important holiday period for any company that does advertising. So, you have companies like Coca-Cola, Apple, Disney, major brands that are all deciding to pause their advertising on X. Advertising is an important part of the, X revenue. It's 90% of the company's revenue. And so that is a major, major hit to the company.
And so,
so for you guys who are watching the Anti-Blackness Apology tour, they're saying we discussed what an Anti-Blackness Apology tour would look like and how it could benefit the Black community. So we're analyzing what the Jewish community have done with Elon Musk and Kanye West and countless others who say stuff that's not in their best interest, and they have them, go on a tour and pay certain people groups as a form of punishment, but also a form of, I guess, learning of how the Jewish community want you to behave. And I think people can have a similar concept, so just in case they with them.
As you write, the advertising freeze comes during the final 3 months of the year. Are you seeing at all the companies who have stopped advertising on X? Is there a willingness for them to return, or are they as good as gone because nothing has really changed on the platform?
Well, some have. It's sort of some have fluctuated, right? And some have returned and then gone back, or some of this concern has to do with companies who are still advertising, but they're considering not advertising. Right. Maybe you can sort of give us the lay of the land.
Yeah, I think with advertising, advertisers they don't ever want to be the first to decide, but let's take a look at something like Apple, for example. When Elon took over last year, he got in a kerfuffle with Tim Cook and Apple over App Store fees, and there was a debate over whether Apple would, pull its spending. Eventually they made up. Apple continue to spend on X and is one of their largest advertisers. But now you have these comments that he made, and they were one of the first to pause. And so I think advertisers have a love-hate relationship with X. They want an alternative to places like Google and Facebook and Meta, but also they're very hesitant to associate themselves with Elon Musk, especially at this point. And so, I've yet to seen an advertiser come back after these most recent comments, and I think a lot of them are now very wary. Particularly with Elon Musk's continued association with.
I don't think Wiley apologized and he had his MBE taken back the other day. Yep, Brother Wiley. He then wanted him to go on an apology tour. I don't think he did, and a lot of the stuff he was suffering for. That's what we was thinking. We have a similar reaction to people anti-black, allegedly anti-black. Just kind of listening. We're almost done here. Feel free to click the link to jump in and discuss. We have two topics: Anti-Black Apology Tour and Self-Love Saves Money, as well as Brother Mark Smith is asking, should we not talk about harsh truths as it might be perceived as defeatist? And a very good point. But once again, we have a strategy. Feel free to jump in, anyone.
Comments.
And Ryan, what happened with remember that big splash he announced that got a new CEO? She had a background in advertising, so there was going to be like a transformative master plan, and
she got hugely ratioed when, in the wake of these charges of anti-Semitism, she came out with some statement about how X stands against anti-Semitism, and it was Ryan, you can tell it better than totally right.
Yeah, we're talking about Linda Yaccarino here, who was named chief executive of the company. Still reports Elon Musk, who's still the boss. But yeah, she has been...
Excellent. So we were looking at, let's go back. Fantastic. So Anti-Blackness Apology Tour, that's where we're at. So let's check it. Let's read some of the comments. I'm sure his brothers just talking amongst themselves, but it's connected to, looks like the self-love saves money concept, so I can do it. So this is a very let's not do anything like that. Self-hate is an issue, but I mean people getting the surgery. Yeah, that's right. You are correct that most people won't go to the surgery, but if you conducted an anonymous survey that asks Black people if they could change their features, would they do it? I suspect many would say yes. Raven, can you understand that saying we are inadequate with no friends could interpret it as defeatist? Well, That's why we say it, brother. Remember, we have a single solution to the double dilemma. We'd like to welcome, is this brother Z or sister Z or just Z? Welcome to the Betterment Broadcast.
What's good, man? So you're talking about this self-hatred issue, yeah? How could we fix this lack of self-love in our phenotype? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, we're talking about within the black community, any history of self-esteem issues, what strategies well, we could talk about the motivations behind it and also methods of trying to alleviate it or add solutions to it. And that is if it is a challenge or a problem in the first place.
I mean, most certainly is a problem and a challenge because even it definitely in the Caribbean and also in Africa, people of lighter complexion and admixed, they're treated better by the native populations in these lands. For example, look at the that song that Tyra or something, Water or Tyler or Water. She's a South African mixed person, and she's the one that is at the forefront of Afrobeats right now. She got the Grammy. It wasn't no Burner Boy who's dark, very, very dark. It went to a mixed South African woman. She got the nod. And even if you look at, Rihanna, she's majority African ancestry, but she's a mixed. She's admixed, and she's Nicki Minaj, she's majority African, but she's admixed. So like. You can tell that this is how it is. So it's definitely a problem. Even when you go to, I've been to East Africa a few times, and you can see the way that women, they fawn over lighter skinned people, particularly if they've got blue eyes, and they treat mixed race children, more valuable and prized and exotic than your plain dark black African kid. This is a fact. I don't know. It's of course it's a problem. No one can deny this.
So yeah, so you're talking about texturism, colorism, shadism, all the isms. And so yeah, so one thing we say is we want all brothers and sisters in the continent, in the diaspora, in the people group to progress, and we never want to undermine a person's progression because we understand it's hard work to get to a certain place. But we can't deny that there are biases set in place or certain challenges that certain people will have to go through at a high rate. And I guess what we can't really control is how other communities treat us, and obviously that they will have their own favoritisms based upon their own bigotry views. But what we can do is fix how we perceive things, right? So we definitely don't want to give favoritisms because someone is of a certain shade or non-shade. This is not how communities can thrive. But the problem is, just like you see the brothers and sisters getting the plastic surgery, there's not full awareness of what's actually happening. They're not fully aware that this could be perceived as a form of self-hatred, you see. And I think the same thing could be said for people showing that kind of bias and that kind of bias towards people who are lighter or from a different place or whatever it might be. So yeah, this is the issue, and this is what we want to find solutions for, you see, fam.
Yeah, okay. So in terms of solutions, well, the best thing would be if you see more examples of people who are, you know, not ashamed to look black, to look African, to look Afro-Caribbean, to look, African. If you see couples, young couples, getting married, staying married, having families, then or the high value people, or male and female pairing up with other high value people, who look like them, then you'd say, okay, it looks fine. But if your most eligible bachelors or most beautiful women pair up with either, women who are obviously fully, admixed, or women who are white, or Latina, then there's going to be a problem saying, okay, then these women must be, or men must be higher value because the best of our group or the most prominent of our group will go and pair up with people who don't look like us, which is
Well, I
something that
think
you, yeah.
yeah, I think that what one of the strategies we're trying to push forward is you have people who are within the community, and those people could be anywhere from east, west, north, south, in the diaspora, people of mixed heritage, admixed heritage, people of this faith, that group, this practice, that group, right? And everyone's within the group. And the idea within that group is to have a universal love of Black collective, right? And to be aware that certain things said or done or activities could be perceived or are done as a form of bias or self-hate. So we want to minimize that. So we want to say that all black people in the community are worthy of to be married or to have a job or to get an opportunity. And we're not going to limit people by these concepts because that's problematic, right? And to be aware of forms of colorism, shadism, texturism, self-esteem issues, we'll be aware of it, because when you're aware of it, then we can actually try to not promote it. By osmosis or by the back of the mind or by branding, whatever, we just don't promote it. But we have to have these discussions. But we have to have ways of talking about it that as we're trying to fix one, we don't damage another. That's the challenge. We want to fix one without damaging another. And that's why we have to be very careful of how we do this. And that's why it actually has to be within. It has to be a black solution. Black people within the group working out the solution for the challenges that come in the group that was created from outside the group. Because these kinds of concepts definitely developed outside of the group.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, I mean, it's going to be very hard to do in a country like the UK because, you've got a lot of South Asians and they're even more, don't respect our phenotype at all. They denigrate on it and they see it as very unattractive. So unless you have a very strong community that's able to enforce standards of beauty and celebrate those standards of beauty, and people are willing to gravitate towards that, it's gonna be like trying to, you know, make a room full of feces smell good with one can of Febreze. You know what I mean? Because it's not gonna be easy because you're gonna get drowned out by all the negative media and negative beliefs by nearby populations who make up the majority of people in this country. So you know it's going to be difficult. You got to have a strong community or group of people who are willing to be proactive about it and try and filter out and block against the negative influences. I think it's going to be very hard to do that in the UK. It's going to be very hard.
Yeah, you're correct in highlighting the challenge, and that's why we start by promoting a lifestyle. Because by teaching this lifestyle, someone becomes naturally prone to always looking for solutions and looking for black people to work with on constructive areas. So that's how it goes, and it does require finding a certain group, isolating, coming up with strategies, and then presenting those strategies to the bigger group, and that's what we do here. You see, like I said, I think they were saying, brothers, why do you mention being collectively inadequate and collectively having no friends? But it's important that we recognize what we're up against. You see, and that's why when we come with certain strong solutions, it's because we're at so much of a disadvantage. The brother just mentioned about non-black people mistreating black people. It won't end. But the good thing with Black Betterment is it only focuses on inward, so it's an inward solution. So there is no person outside the group who's welcome to come and practice such a thing while we are fixing ourselves. And the reason why we can do that is because we are acknowledging that we're collectively inadequate and we need time alone to fix these things. So this is how strategy works. You see, this is how multifaceted solutions work. You do things because they have many, 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 many different paths that make sense to the goal you're trying to go to. And that's why we talk tactics over loss, right? Tactics over trauma, and that will give you triumph.
One thing I would advise is like this is what I do and I encourage. It's like if you have family members or friends or young kids nearby, and you see them do weird stuff like saying, "Oh, I wish my hair was straighter," or "Oh, I wish my nose was thinner," or people start using skin cream or relaxing their hair. Like you should try and avoid them and give them some self-esteem from a young age, saying your hair is fine as it is, your skin color is fine as it is. Instead of oh, I wish my hair was straighter, just try and reinforce that you're good enough as you are. You know what I mean? About thinking that dark skin is bad and coarse hair is bad. And less wig use at a young age. Stop normalizing wig and weave use in family members. Like if you have a partner and she's putting on wigs and stuff, give her the self-esteem to say, listen, I like your hair as it is. I like your hair as it is, instead of just trying to put them down and let them just do all this type of wig and weave, all this type of things. I mean, I remember back in the day, when I had a girlfriend before, years ago, she wouldn't even let me see her without a wig or a weave, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, are you that ashamed of your hair? It's sad.
Well, here's the it's very important for the men as well. And I was talking to another gentleman about this. It's a very important topic we have to tackle, but it's one we have to tackle very lightly and kindly, because the trauma that's surrounding here in general is quite immense, and we have to always feel like we're supportive. And there's certain methods I would always propose, and that is we start by telling black sisters that regardless of what their hairstyle is, whether they've got no hair, they have wearing a wig or a natural way, it doesn't change their beauty. They're always beautiful, right? But what it is we understand that by having more of a natural style, you are more in control, and it gives you more options if you want to do certain activities. And also, it's something that you can control your own economics with by being in control of your own kind of hair and buying things that more suit to your own kind of hair. There's more of like a business empowerment concept, but it should never come down to your beauty and non-beauty. But we want to give you more options. The reason why we have to be very careful is because unfortunately, there's many brothers out there, not too many, but some brothers, that becomes a focal of their talking point, and they use it as a stick to bash black women. And that's why we say that it's sometimes best to have black women reform black women and black men reform black men until we sort this trouble out, this challenge out. But in the meantime, we do recognize that there is a love for black natural styles and stuff, but it doesn't take away from the beauty that you might have regardless of what style you're doing. And I think having a strategic, kind, considerate way to talk to black women is a very important thing. Let them know that regardless of what they're going through, they have a support system. And we should never use them as I told you so, you don't look good or whatever. I don't think that's going to work in Black People's Collective best interest. I hope that makes sense, family who's listening today and in future times.
And another solution would be, if people have the financial means to try and, visit countries where the majority of people are black, and not countries where there's like a very strong, like, elite, which is white, which is hard to find. But at least go to places where the beauty standard is that of a black person, or there's black beauty is a bit more celebrated. It just to help reinforce that self-esteem. As I said before, man, it's gonna be hard to do this in the UK. I'll be honest, because it's clear in the UK, particularly for black women, particularly very strong African features, it's gonna be hard because this place is so anti-black woman for when it comes down to phenotype. You could see it everywhere. You know it, I know it, the women know it. It's very hard because, like, I mean, psychologically, I mean, it was tough being a dark-skinned black guy, but being a dark-skinned black woman, it would have been even worse in the UK. I can only imagine.
Yeah. So this is why it has to come with an inward solution, and that's why we have to, without question, we have to plot out what we're trying to achieve. And one of the goals is to definitely promote black men becoming constructive and picking black women, presenting no favoritism towards the black collective group, any kind of shadism or texturism, whether that is, let them know the long-lasting effects of the damage. And that's why when we start, for those who are joining, we're looking at videos such as this. Let's have a sneak peek with a boutique. I'm gonna mute the video, the music. There you go. This sister, she's had her operation on her nose, being more pointing at certain traditional African features there. Wasn't best pleased with it, I suspect, and she's gone to get more of a bridge, more of a definition bridge on the top, but on the side, she wants to definitely see that it's more sharp like that. That's the new look. That's
Oh man.
And then this is a gentleman, another brother from. He's got one very traditional features. Maybe the women find him delightful. Who knows? Who knows what he wanted? But let's have a listen. And now, yeah, he's got the new kind of definition. It's a brand nose that they're buying, a particular ethnic group nose. They want to get more of that kind of that ethnic. Yeah, there you go. That kind of look there.
UK.
I'm not too sure. This is. I'm not too sure. I've only just discovered this a few yesterday. So I haven't done the research, but I know that the people doing it are from some other European country, and people going there to get it done. And they've got tons and tons of black people in their list that they're showing that have agreed to this. Who knows what we haven't seen? Welcome, is it Kamar? My screen's very small at the moment. Greetings. If you can hear me, welcome to the Betterment Broadcast. Betterment to you. When you get time, just unmute and have a conversation. You're live. You're live. One thing a friend of mine was saying, and he wasn't best pleased with it, and he you know, and someone said as well, like, why don't we mistreat them? Why don't we name call them and this kind of stuff, shun them? Well, shun them is one thing, but I was saying that what you have to understand is, if you truly believe that these people are going through something, as in that's made them spend their mortgage money on their nose or their face, as offensive it might be, you're gonna think you might be in a better psychological position where you can see the error in this judgment. So it might be best not to mistreat them or to name call them, but to more so be kind and try to let them know that regardless of what efforts they make, they have a place. But we don't want this to carry on as a trend because it's not something that is feasible, it's economically not viable, and it's we see a value in what you just once changed, you see. It is a challenge, but we have to deal with. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, so it's a couple of things I want to say is that one thing is you have to blame the parents in a way. Now, what do you mean by this? I'm trying to say is that if you know that your phenotype is not celebrating the land that you're in, it is the onus is on you to either encourage your children to go to these lands or at least have links active that they can go on at least frequent to get some an injection of self-esteem and love for self from time to time, and also to get away from the toxicity from time to time so it doesn't accumulate. And the second thing is it's on the parents to at least be able to encourage self-esteem in their own looks, in their own appearance, to make them feel better in themselves, to give them that self-esteem. You know, particularly if they go to schools where they're going to get picked on by Indians and whites, okay, which both, particularly Indians, they don't like black appearance at all. They're not attracted to us, period. Yeah, our phenotype is disgusting to them. So you know, I have to put put some pushback against the parents on that. To be honest, when I see stuff like this, people getting surgeries on their nose and stuff like that, uh, I see that as a failure of parenting in a way. I'll be honest with you.
Welcome, Kumuru. Say your name, please, family.
Kamal.
Oh, Kamal.
Kamal.
Yeah, it's my eyes, not your name. Trust me. Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the Blackberry. You might be jumping from a robot. I don't know if you can you say something so we can hear it.
Is it still?
Yeah. I understand what you're going through. It happens to me a lot when I'm trying to go in Clubhouse. I'm changing my provider just because of it, fine. Like, it's very terrible. But yeah, I don't know if you want to log out and log back in, or maybe just move to near the window or something. If you're on the phone, or I'm not too sure. But whenever you get sorted, you can always jump in. The two topics: Anti-Blackness Apology Tour and Self-Love Saves Money. That's what the topics are. So while Kamal sorts out the mic, let's see if there's any. There we go. Add to group. Right. There you go. Well, I think you jumped in and got again.
Is it still doing it?
Nah, it's solution. Oh, you had lost it, weren't you, brother?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. You were very constructive last week. That was good to see.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Likewise.
So, brother, if you just jumped in, today's topic is the Anti-Black Apology Tour. We're looking at. We discussed what an anti-black apology tour could look like and how it could benefit the black community. So, for example, the Jewish community all over the world, whenever they go through what they call anti-Semitic behavior, they economically sanction, they economically attack the person who does it, and then they have them go on a tour to learn, but they also fund their institutions as a method of, don't do that again. We're thinking maybe we could have something like that. So every time anti-blackness has been practiced, economically, black people are subsidized, and that way it might motivate people not to do that. But also, there's an incentive for them to stop. But there's a bonus for black people every time pain is being given. And the second topic was self-love saves money, and we're looking at how if our community actually loved the phenotype they're in, then the cosmetic, I think they call it cosmetic surgery industry, would make less money because there's nothing to change. And we're showing a whole lot of people with very strong black features trying to change their features. And we also showed this video here, which let's see it one more time. Rewind. It's been circulating on the algorithm.
May I ask where you're from?
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm African, but honestly, I like Americanized African men. He's just a little too African. Not in any insulting way, honestly.
Nah, if you know me. You'd be surprised.
That's acceptable.
Not at all.
So, what made you say he's too African?
I think the strong facial features, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what part of Africa are you from?
I'm half Kenyan, half Ghanaian, so I'm like east and west.
So she's from Ghana and Kenyan, and she thinks his brother from, I think, Sudan. The other one's two African features, and she wants someone with American, I guess, American. Well, they rhyme. She prefers African American, but she said American. She messed up her personality thing, but then she also mentioned phenotype. But this is the thing, even on the continent, this has been taught. So we're going over that question. Can self-love save money? Self-love saves money. Tongue twister. So yeah, any comments on these topics? Anyone in the group or on the panel, feel free to have a constructive dialogue to find solutions. Or is there not a problem there? We don't know. Let's have a conversation.
In my opinion, both instances correlate. The correlation I see is the collective psychosis that we have. If someone, say for instance, like what Gucci I think did when they had that blackface. I don't know if it was a jacket or if it was a like what they call it shiesty, but we did the opposite of what you would what is deemed the Jewish community would do. Instead of going and boycotting the company, we went and bought more. People went in and bought more as individuals. I mean that just shows a very bad level of psychosis. And then when you get to the self-hate, I mean, if you're willing to do cosmetic surgeries to go under the knife for something that's aesthetic, I mean, that's just blatant psychosis. But I mean, in my opinion, psychosis in our community is normalized. When you have a culture that is not outraged by people that are our youth making music that glorifies killing, so far what people are the game, school that people
Hold on. Fontaine, you were saying some good stuff there, but the algorithm stopped you. So when you say good stuff, the algorithm jumped in. So you sound like a robot up until the psychosis of the music, or something like this, and then it started jumping. It sounded really important as well.
Is it still doing?
It's still doing that at the moment. It's a shame because it sounded like really good stuff you were saying that we can learn from. Are you using your phone or your laptop?
My phone.
All right, so check the bars. The bars are high, then but if your bars are low, then you might get that. That's what I tend to find. When the bars are low, I say,
I'm close.
Yeah, it'll come back. But once again, we give thanks to the brother. He always comes with good constructive stuff, and it's always good when we meet new brothers who are looking for solution-based podcasts and networks. If you're the same way inclined, jump in, family. We always try to find solutions here. I was still waiting for Brother Mark to jump in if he wants to discuss this collectively inadequate concept. I know it confuses many, but it's also very important. Let's see if Brother Kamal is back. Welcome, brother.
Is it still doing it?
It's back right as you speak. You go up to the music, the psychosis. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, but so the fact that we as a community, as an ethnicity, aren't outraged by our youth making music that's glorifying them killing each other. I mean, where I'm from, you kids is making music talking about some. We don't care if the kids is out there. If you ain't out there, we'll kill a kid. We'll kill a mama. We'll shoot your mama house up. The fact that there's not collective communal outrage about things like this shows that there's a rampant level of psychosis within our community. The fact that our women go around, and with all due respect, go around, most of our women go around majority of the year, their natural hair doesn't even see the light of day outside of their house. Shows a level of psychosis. Any people that are willing to put chemicals in their hair that are deleterious to their health in order to maintain a beauty standard that's from another people. It's just psychotic. And Dr. Amos Wilson speaks a lot about this, the collective psychology that we have. In order for us to be in the position that we are in, we have to be out of our mind. But the thing is, for us that know that there's a level of psychosis, we can't go along as if it's normal. We have to treat it as like someone with schizophrenia, someone with bipolarism. It's the same thing. It's a mental health crisis.
I agree with that, and I think I was talking to some of the gentlemen about how to approach those brothers. Some brothers, they get very frustrated and angry, and they want to throw insults and other stuff towards some of these individuals. I'm saying that might not be the best strategy. I think a kindness approach might be better, because we're dealing with someone who actually clearly is going through something, whether they know it or not. You see, and I think we have to have a campaign already, and that's why we say even saying self-love saves money itself could be a campaign. Like how, like challenging the community that if we love ourselves, we will definitely save more money. You see, so even I think both things here are tied to economics. The Anti-Black Apology tour, meaning if we stick together, we can get people to economically fund the things we need through the actions of being hateful towards Black people openly. And obviously, self-love saves money, meaning that the money you spent on your face, 10 grand, 20 grand, you can put into your mortgage or a Black institution. Some constructed Black paper of some kind, who knows, right? So this is what we're pushing, but once again, we are solution-based here, family. Any questions in the audience, feel free to jump in or just pull it in there, we will read it out. If there's anything you agree or disagree with, let us know. If there are any solutions you want to push forward, but we are strategy-based here, so we always want to take these concepts and move forward. One thing I would, for those who missed this, let me play this again. Oh, I'm going to get rid of it. So in the UK, there was a Black brother, a young child who was bullied, and they made him kiss the feet of one of the anti-Black racists. And what's happened is the Black community, there is some kind of organization here where they go and they try to make that right. And one of the brothers went and saw that. Let's have a look again.
They're in Carlisle now, where the incident happened, with our little brother and a big brother from the area that's going to look after him, get him into training, boxing, self-defense. Anthony Joshua, yeah, he said you're a lion. You saw the message he sent you, innit? Yeah, he said you're a lion. Yeah, and these gloves we've sent for you to start your boxing and your self-defense. Yeah, it's strength and love every time. Yeah, 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours we travel for you. You're not on your own. And we just come down here to send a message to the whole world. Yeah, that we got our little brothers, and there'll be no form of bullying. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna rise up. You're gonna keep focused, and this ain't even affected him. When I saw the brother, and I thought I was gonna find someone that was a bit, after the team, sometimes things break it down. Now I saw a strong brother. Saw a lion. Yeah, saw a lion. Yeah, and you got us. We're not gonna talk online. We're not gonna do no video reacting to your trauma. We're not gonna comment about what we would do. We're gonna ride out to where you are, make sure you're all right, and fight for you long term, not short term. Yeah, you hold us to that. Yeah, the gloves. We got the broski that linked it up. We got my brother Tomo. Yeah, and we got Farron. Yeah, he's there with us in spirit. Yeah, and we got the Street Fathers, Gangs Unite, Forever Family, my Patreons, everyone. They are.
There you go. So that we do like that reaction. Whenever we see something negative, we try to put a positive thing on there, let the brothers know they have a community. I think that the brothers who, the individuals who were trying to mistreat him, I think they've been arrested. I could be wrong. I need to get more information on that, which is always good.
But I'm talking about solutions in that situation, yeah? Where that Black kid had to kiss the feet. Yeah, that was in Carlisle, yeah? Which is, up north, yeah?
Yes.
Now, my question is this. These parents who, and I'm going hard on these parents, is like, when you bring a kid, a Black child, to be raised as a teenager in those environments, what do you think is going to happen to the child? You think he's not going to get any, or she's not going to get any sort of racist abuse? You see what I'm saying? Like, you're putting your kids through trauma for avoidable trauma. You see what I'm saying?
I hear that, and that's why we're saying that a lifestyle of Black betterment is important, because if baked within the culture that we've created, you're always trying to find solutions with Black people. You're always trying to be around Black people. You're always trying to be with the nearest Black people, and you're using technology to find Black people and all this kind of stuff. then by creating these networks, you're always going to have some kind of defense base and some places to go to look for things. But if you separate and you go on your own, then you're always going to find yourself being mistreated. So that's why the culture, the lifestyle of Black betterment is key. And Black people helping Black people on Black issues is very right now. Other culture groups tend to have a way of surviving that's baked in their culture. Unfortunately, Black people have many different cultural identities, many different lifestyles and stuff. So I'm saying that baking a one that is dedicated to Black people, Black people progressing, has to be key. And campaigning that, marketing that, and making that look as palatable as possible is the goal. You see, so we always have these conversations that we're trying to do something. That's why we try to make things plain here. If someone is anti-Blackness, let's have a tool that they go on where economically they have to pay certain companies, they have to do an apology tour, they have to go to the Black History Museum owned by a Black person, they have to pay for the family of the people they grieved or whatever, right? And at the end of it, it's like being anti-Black just won't be a viable option anymore because it costs. But also, Black people will be less worried about it because they know that every time it happens, they're getting some kind of payment, right? So this is the strategy a strategy. There's obviously many others, but I reckon we should try to create something similar to that because we've observed it working really well.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but with that, in that case, we got to have we got to have power, isn't it? Collective power, or at least try to work towards collective power. Because from what you described now regarding this, and you mentioned about the the phenotype issue, is that you have to assimilate enough, but not too much. And I think that when you want to assimilate into Western society, you've got to accept certain rules of the game. And unfortunately, one of the rules of the game is anti-Blackness, man. And this is what I noticed with these Indians and stuff like this is that one of they double down on this anti-Blackness stuff because they know if they want to fit into Western society, you've got to crap on the Blacks. And same with the United States. I've heard.
I mean, but if when you look at Indian people, that's inherent to their culture. I mean, they have the oldest caste system based on race that can be historically verified. So, but you are correct though. When it comes to everybody gets in line and falls under the anti-Blackness banner. But to me, the most difficult part, I would see when you look historically, times when Black people collectively did say it like an apology tour. It wasn't necessarily an apology tour, but we were able to galvanize ourselves and boycott things like the bus system, and we almost crippled Greyhound. So things like that. But when you look at the conditions, the racial conditions at that time, there was an uncomfortability there. You knew who your enemy was. Now it's very difficult to make people identify that because one, there's a level of comfortability there that they have to where they think that you get certain amount of materials and it's gonna take your attention for so long. So I mean, I just know I don't. That's really the most big hurdle for me. I would say is to get it to where people actually see that it's a very, very drastic problem.
Yes, good point. And that's why what we do here as well is we highlight certain activities and we try to give strategic ways to respond. So for example, obviously Black love is key here, and Black men marrying Black women is what we promote. But naturally, when you come across Black men who don't, just say in social media, in parties or social settings, people might ask certain questions that causes anxiety and problematic stuff, but it makes the Arkster of the Black community look like that we have the issue with, right? And I say that there's certain things we can say. So, for example, whenever you have a person who's promoting Black men marrying non-Black women, you can always ask, does your new partner support reparations? You see, so you ask these very particular questions that highlights that okay, maybe the person you love tremendously is there, but there's a lot of things that they're not willing to do for you or your collective group. So could that be factored in? And then you can say, okay, well, let's say they do agree to reparations. Will they agree that because Black people are collectively inadequate and have no economics, and we give everything away, and we can observe this in Brazil and Argentina, it's okay that when you get married to her, that you give her your love, and then she gives your community or your sister the economics. You see, so and see if they still just want the love. So having a different strategy of talking it, because and that's why it's important to acknowledge that you're collectively inadequate, because we're trying to fix something. You see, If we create this concept that we're doing fantastically well, then there's nothing to fix. But unfortunately, with the black community, there is much to fix, and in order we have to have strategy and tactics to actually paint a picture that actually we collectively have no friends. You know, it's very important. There you go. Welcome all to the Betterment Broadcast. We're joined by Kamal and brother Zed. We've got brother Dominic in the house, and we big up Empress Kushti, very important contributor. Big up The Objective, Pursuit of Truth. Big up J-Van RGB. Feel free for anyone who wants to jump in. If you've got any questions, put it there. We shall read it out for you. Let's see if there's anything. We need power and influence. Black people don't have both. Very important. Power and influence, very important. And this is where we're going to try to get it. We come here, but what's important is this is a place for us, family, and hopefully we can make many more. This is a solution-based broadcast where we use trauma and not we are aware of trauma, but we use tactics. You see, so we don't want to use trauma; we want to use tactics. So anytime we come against problems, we think, how can we strategize? You know, sometimes you have to be with less to do more. So what you find these places isn't that alluring for the bigger masses who like blood and this kind of stuff, but it's more for the people who are slow paced and they want to plot things out and have strategies. And one of the things we're going to do is how can we communicate efficiently with each other, and how can we set certain kind of words and ways of thinking that go through the interweb, all by the algorithm, and influences black people to do things that works in black people's collective best interest. And the primal thing is we promote a lifestyle called Black Betterment, and that's black people helping black people on black issues. When you marry interracially, you have to give up part of your identity to make the relationship work. Even when a white partner isn't racist, they still really don't understand racism. That's right. I think we need to come up with as many compelling arguments to present. And I think I would say one of the major things we're trying to do is make black men constructive and find a constructive woman and start finding, because the thing is, black betterment happens even when even when you're alone in your house or when you're with your family. So sometimes the goal is to have outer community work, institutional work, but sometimes when life is changing, all you can do is self-work and family work. So if you haven't married within your group, then every good deed you do towards your wife, there is no black betterment benefit, you see, or very little, if any. So that's why every activity is important, and that's why having a black woman is an instant win, a constructive black woman. It's an instant win, because everything you do is building up black betterment. We want to get these philosophies out. Like, again, it's about philosophies. I would say all you brothers have a strategy. Do not approach black people hostility with any kind of anger, especially those who are doing things we deem like maybe self-destructive in certain aspects. For example, we're looking at sisters and brothers who get surgery done. Let's have a look at some ones we haven't seen. I know it's shocking, but we'll have to watch it. Let's see this one. I like this one. Oh, that's I wanted to show that as well. This is important as well. Randomly, right? This is not surgery, by the way. It's not surgery. UK. Follow this page. It's called, I think it's called Black Love UK Instagram. Let me see if I type if it comes up straight away. Let me check. Just give you the come on. Let's see if I can find it. Black Love UK. Black Love UK. Let's see what comes up. Love has it in it, mate. Come on. It's ready. Hold on. Let's make sure it's the right one. I'll type it for you. Black Love UK. Let's see if it comes up on my phone. Give me 13 seconds. So I came across it. I'm gonna contact the brother to see or the sister. I don't know who runs the page. I think it's a brother. I think it might be a brother. And it's a very good page. It's positive stories about black love. And why is it coming up? Let's see. What is the address? Oh, let me cancel that. I'm live on the air, friend. But yeah, let me just play this video. But this is good. Follow this if you can find it. I'll see if I can find where it plays.
Black love in the UK is not celebrated enough. Black love looking how we look is not celebrated enough. So that's why it's important. It's important to put a face to it. It's important to put a fun, young, cool, Louis Vuitton wearing, Diesel wearing, Jordan wearing. No, because I'm saying all of that because it's not boring.
There you go. There's a whole page full of couples, and they talk about their experiences. And productive stuff. So we definitely want to promote this. So remember, when we talk about Black Betterment, we break down the triple triumph. Where's that? Let's find that. The triple triumph. That's Black families, Black economics, and Black health. So when Black people are getting their face done. Oh, was someone in there? Hello? Maybe someone jumped in, maybe they didn't, I don't know. When they're getting their face done, that's Black health issues. But when obviously when the Black men are not marrying Black women, that's Black family issues, and obviously when we're not really doing economically well, as you know, for work and stuff, Black economics. These are 3 areas that we want to improve. The triple triumph branding. So there's the areas to focus on. Anything you want to say, family? Jump in. Any family in the panels? Feel free to have your say. It's your time. It's not my time. It's your time. Anything you want to say? Now's your time.
My thing with that, even with the brother solution, like look at the thought process of that. Why does somebody have to be dressed in Louis Vuitton or Diesel to not be considered boring? There's a level of like I don't know, like the way that these people are able to market their lifestyle is very successful and it's very effective. A lot of even within a lot of our solutions, we bring in a level of psychosis that's even gonna really not help the problem that much.
Yeah, you'll find that. That is very true. Very true, family. Go on.
I know. What I was gonna say is like, and what the brother said earlier about we don't have the power and the influence. I think we do have a level of power, and I think we have a lot of influence. We just use our power to uplift the power structure and our influence to uplift the power structure. But again, that all results into psychology because the only reason why we're doing this is because we have a rampant level of psychosis within our community. Until we, as a collective, address the psychology part, which in my opinion is going to take in order to really psychologically remove yourself and psychologically heal yourself, you have to have a level of separation within the society. From the society, or you could do it within, but you would have to literally be hermetized. But to me, until we tackle that problem, because even a lot of the concepts that we have are not good for our people, even when we come with solutions, like I said.
Yeah. There's always going to be a legacy of some infiltration of the past, and but having the awareness of that is important. And also trying to go as far as you can with what you have, right? But also having fundamental concepts. So, that's why we always say Black people and Black issues, right? Fundamental concepts that this is what we're about. Once again, you talk about separation. We always go back to here. We do recognize that there is a Black innovator community that we're trying to form, and that requires maybe 2.5% of the community. And these are the people who's going to come up with the ideas, the concepts that work for Black people's best interests. And once we get that 2.5, then we are going to have the 22.5 influencers. You see, these are people who's going to go out, promote, whether they live in their family and promote in their family, or they have shows, or they have TV shows or magazines, or they're just bubbly people who are very good at influencing others to do what's in Black people's collective best interest. There's a strategy, but by all means, if people need to isolate and separate, that's fine, as long as the isolation separation isn't done with other people groups, and for you to then leave the community to never come back. And I think I can't remember, was it last week? No, it was actually in Clubhouse. I was speaking to many Black brothers and sisters who that was their solution. They were fed up with Black people, and so they ticked one box. But then their solution was to leave and never return. You see, and I don't know if that's necessarily the best answer. You see, I think if you're gonna leave with other Black brothers to find solutions. Because it's funny because they said, "Oh yeah, we want nothing to do with Black people," and then they would say. And I said, "Do you have any Black friends?" Well, yeah. I've got quite a few. I go, "Oh, so do you not like them?" "Oh no, they're like me." I go, "Okay." So already you've got a small group of people who could have found solutions. You see, but you don't want it. And then some of them they say, "Look, I'm not here to help Black people. I'm here to get by. And if I have to be with non-Black people to do that, so be it." So that's where they're at. So these people, you couldn't at that stage they couldn't be a part of any kind of innovation squad because they tick one box, but then they don't tick another.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I mean isolation, To a certain degree, physically, yes, because I think that the marketing that this system is able to project on people. I think like if you're physically in a land where that's pervasive, it's hard to get the mass of people to not even because well you said the 2.5. So yeah, I mean you could do it. I think
Well,
what you
well,
proposing is effective.
let me show you something because I haven't presented this to the group yet. Let me find it. What's it called again? Because I was meant to do it this week, but I was too busy designing something, so I couldn't. Diffusion. So what I was doing, I was breaking down. So there we go. So people are asking like, we want numbers. So how much is that? So this is much research we've done, much marketing research. So I was put down to a number. So obviously there's many black people, and it's like when you ever try to change black people, you go, well, there's too many, and not everyone's going to jump on board. You go, things are done in phases, and you want to find the first phase. So the first phase is we could say literally everyone in this group who was constructed is the first phase, a part of that 2.5%, because we want to change the community. We have a bit of history and knowledge about what's going on, and our heart's in the right place, right? Well, others are just, they're there. But let's break down for those who are new. So we have the innovators, which is 2.5. We have the influencers, that's 22.5. Then we have the imitators. Now, what the imitators are is generally your everyday black person. Right now, those people are imitating, what they see, and it's not in their best behavior. So that's why we have to have the influence certain attributes and ways of living that works to black people's collective best interest, and then the imitators will imitate them. You see, and then naturally you always have the 16%, the idlers, a person who avoids work and spends time in the aimless and lazy way. They will never try to grieve anything. They're very disagreeable. That's out there. But numbers wise, if we're looking at how much is the innovators per city? So I written this down here. So let's USA. So the biggest population. So it's a quite a big population. So Texas has a population apparently of 12.21% is black, which is 3,945,000, quite a lot. So that means a 2.5% of that, which is quite a lot still, is 99,000, right? 99,000 will be like the innovator group. But this is where it gets very technical. We break innovation down into 2 grids. So this is we're now getting deep now, right? So when we say 2 grids, what does that mean? That means amongst that percentage of innovators, right, we only need 1 to 5% actually coming up with the actual things to do, while the engineers just find a way to skillfully arrange it and get it to the influence, right? So it could be 2 people in here. We can't, we need to eat better. We need to have magazines, and then the engineers go, okay, here's how we get the magazines. You see, whatever, right? So the architects are there. So that means within Texas, under that kind of thing, in Texas that has 3 million black people, you only need 1,000 in Texas to come together, which is quite a lot, but still quite a lot. But then when you go to small places like England, so London has 1,397,000. That means the innovators would be 34,000, which is a lot, but the 1% of that will be 400. So in London, 400 people get together and find a solution for the whole of the London area. That's how the theory works, right? So even though people struggle like this, so we need so many people, it's gonna be hard to convince them. Not if you do things in phases, and not if you have like arrangements and actual roles to do, and you're now looking for that number roughly. You're trying to build that, so you could brand it the 400 or whatever you want to call it for London. London's 400, and you could have Texas 1,000, and whatever. In Birmingham it's only 40. That's how small Birmingham is, right? Right? So it is what it is. But one day I'll unpack all this stuff here. There's bags of notes here that I haven't bothered putting in any kind of graphic form, but we'll deal with that in another time. But yeah, just answer the brother's thing. That's the solution we push for. Everything has to be solution based, you see, and that's one.
Correct. No, I agree. I think that model would be effective. I think any model can be effective if you have the right people that are implementing.
Of course.
So yeah.
So let's break this down. So if you study how things change, they say the critical mass number, which usually ranges from 5 to 25%. So what we've done here is we've said that the innovators, which is 2.5%, and the influencers, which is 22.5%. If you add that up, that actually comes to roughly it's 25%. So we know that the influencers and the innovators are the open door black elite. They're the critical mass, right? That's what it is. Now, if you want to understand how psychology works and how people think, naturally, there's nothing wrong with being any one of these groups. Maybe those people might be best most pleased, but either way, yeah, maybe some people might have an issue with being imitators, even though everybody will imitate at one point. But what's good about this concept is at a certain point, some people won't know if their influencers are imitators, you see? And in that concept where they're trying to work at what they are, they're working towards being that. So you have this kind of loop cycle in a person's mind where they're trying to be something that they have no idea they can or can't be, but they're doing constructive work. And in that process, black people are being helped. Sorry, I hope that's making sense. How are we defining the black elite? E.g., okay, excellent. This is very important. We put that on the grid. So, and this is a very deliberate word, elite, and it's a very important word. And I say it very strong with chest. And that is, whenever you try to go out into the black population, what tends to happen is if you say you want to come together, they see it some kind of like fairy kind of kumbaya concept, and they mock it, they hate it, and you know they're going to tell you why they'll never join it and why it's never going to work. So what you say is, I hear that. Well, I'm not actually trying to talk to all black people because we've got this model here. We only want to talk to the black innovators and the black influencers. And who are they? Well, they are the black elite. Well, we call them the open door black elite. And what does open door mean? Well, it means anyone who wants to do it can, if they practice utility and unity. And that way you've created a concept where anyone can join, but they don't want to join. But we can openly say we're elite because we're the small number who wants to fix black people, while those who don't can't because they don't want to. And they have no reason to cry or moan because it's their choice. So now they can't kick down the door and say, oh, but you only have to be a millionaire, or you have to be, some kind of banker, whatever it might be. No, we're saying that you can't be elite in the black community if you don't do anything for the black community. That makes no sense. How can you be in the elite positioning of a service or of a people group and you do things against that people group? So we're redefining the elite, and we call them the open door elite, and that's black people who practice black betterment, who are the custodians, who are going to do constructive work, and we're going to market and brand this. And if you want to be it, just practice utility and unity. But if you can't, then keep quiet. Hope that makes sense, bro Foster. The word open door, well, the word elite causes much anxiety, and we understand that, hence why we brand it. But we've rebranded it open door elite, and if that makes sense, then let us progress. But I challenge anyone to jump on. But big up Amelette Goddess, very important contributor to the show, a very important sister. Black Betterment to you. Family, this is very important. This is a show where we are constructive and we're trying to find solutions. Sometimes you see us and people are scared to mention the word black or people or whatever, and they want to be very universal. And what happens is people demonize black people and black people. We're gonna throw that out here. We're gonna find constructive ways to help black people because that's the best solution, is it? And we're going to work with those who are constructive and want to find solutions. And even if it gets hard and there's toil and trouble, you know that there's a place here that has a basic concept. Black people helping black people on black issues whenever it's constructively possible. And this is what it is. And hopefully we can have influence and others do it. And we create networks all over the world. And we remember the time where we were here, because when you start something, it always progresses if you're consistent. So hopefully this can be consistent and we can make a difference. And when history shows, we know that we're in the good side of history. And to finish the question, brother, the brothers who don't practice black betterment and undermine, they are on the bad side of history. That's part of the branding as well. Let them know that as hard as it might be for us, we're happy because we're on the good side of history, as we are. Hope that answers your question in a long-winded way, brother Foster. All right, feel free to jump in for anyone that piece to sister. Feel free to jump in any questions, put it in there, we'll answer. But we've got panels, we've got Brother Z and Brother Kamal. If say what you wish, you're free to speak.
No, I just think that methodology would definitely be effective, and it's good to see that someone actually has a tactical method. I think that's what we really lack. Like we need numbers, time frames, because I think if you don't have a numerical representation of what you want to accomplish, it's gonna be you're always gonna be like general, and when you're in general, things usually don't they don't happen, and you that usually causes stagnation. So I agree.
There you go. Open door elitism. So we are practicing open door elitism. We're saying all are welcome to help black people, but we know you're not going to want to. And we know it's going to be a small number. We know that once we send out the bat signal or the black signal, only 2.5% will come. But that's all we need. We just need that strong 300, as they say, right? Well, depending on the number of your city, whatever. And that is the number of the open door elite. So for those who don't know, the innovation guy number in London, when it comes to actual people come up with the ideas, let's go for it. So in London, it's 400 people. So 400 people will be the innovation in the number in London. So find out if we have 400 constructive brothers, we can get in ancestors, we can get in a hall. In Berlin, it's 40. In Texas, it's 1,000. Must be much bigger. In Canada, oh no, you know what? Brazil. Have I got? Why is this in green? I think I have. Someone's. Let's check. That's the right number. That one, 29,000. This is 29. So Brazil has got a population of I need to go through and do Brazil, Canada, and these other and Haiti. Well, Haiti could be there. Haiti. I've got a list of to do. I've got a list of to do and I haven't done it yet. Shame on me. So far all I've done is Texas. I've done America as a whole. So America as a whole, it's actually 12,000. So if you can get 12,000 brothers or ancestors together, they make up that 1% of the 2.5%. Then you will have your open door elite, or at least a part of it, your innovation class. The guys who are going to innovate the ideas needed to push Black people forward. You see, that's so important. Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. Any questions in the audience or on the panel? Feel free to say. For those who are joining now, the topic is Anti-Blackness Apology Tour. We discuss what Anti-Blackness Apology Tour would look like and how it could benefit the Black community. Self-love saves money. We discuss multiple ways how self-love can save money. While people are thinking what they want to ask, we also have certain other videos that I don't think I've played yet. Let's see if there's any others I haven't played. Or some I played earlier, but let's make more sense of them. We've got a lot of Black people getting surgery. It's never nice to see, but we've got it. Who's this one? Let's see. Space. Nope. Bring up the system. Nope. Oh, this is an interesting one. Let's see this one. So, as you know, we were covering Black people in the Middle East and this kind of, and how Black people are treated in Egypt. And there's those arguments: were the ancient Egyptians black or white or this kind of stuff? And this video came out. I don't know how old it is.
One more surprise for Alejandro: Shammai's ethnicity.
Well, they have just told me that Shammai has a Nubian feature, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shammai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia. A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elites were Mediterranean type, and in this sense, Shammai is representing the society of the frontier, in which different ethnic groups were mixed. At the end, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. Shammai was Egyptian.
So you say it doesn't matter the color of your skin, but it does to them, and it does to you, my friend. And it seems like more and more kind of bone structure. You get a lot of Africoid, Black, Nubian, Egyptian rulers and citizens in Kemet. Well, it causes much anxiety to a lot of the non-Black Egyptians there. But it's very interesting. I think that we reason say it because there was like economic films made about certain members of, and then there was pushback and not happy that Black people are playing royalty or whatever it is. So it just shows you that even when they're doing the science, it seems that yes, and this is something that across the North Africa in many stages. So that was one video I came across. Very nice algorithm. Let's see what else I came across. I came across this interesting. I don't know. I listened to it, but this tackles not that we listen to outsiders, whatever. But this is a man from Dubai talking about his country and versus the wealth in Nigeria. But I think he's alluding to corruption, which is something that has to be sorted. But there is maybe a lesson at some point, but let's listen.
Comparing with Nigeria, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country, not corruption.
Right, so that's what the brothers are saying. It's something regardless of who's saying it, it's true. Corruption is an issue, and proxy leadership is a problem. It's something we definitely want to tackle. I think Brother Claude Anderson said a similar thing.
First question I want to ask you is, what is the condition of Black people globally? How would you say it in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, they're on the bottom. They're right now the lowest thing they can get on earth. You got to, right now, collectively on earth, Black folk do not own and control anything in greater proportion than 1/2 or 1% of the wealth, power, and resources in the world. You got collectively, Black folks should have about 24% of the world's population. But you can never acquire and hold on and exercise more than 1/2 or 1%, which means you're going to perish. That's what it means. Africa now is the richest continent on the earth. But when you all talk about global awakening, what you're talking about in America, we call that gentrification and privatization, which means that's not a positive for Black folk to have an awakening when all of a sudden people come in and take over your resources and privatize it into the hands of the dominant white society, dominant Europeans, and now it's going to be dominant Chinese and Japanese going to take you all over. And the Arabs have been after you ever since about 765 AD when they marched into Africa talking about they're coming to Africa to wake African up in the search of what they call the 3 G's, God, glory, and gold. They've been pursuing you all now for 765. They were the ones who were the first original enslavers on the earth for Black folk were the Arabs. And they're still enslaving you all in Ethiopia, Mauritania, and Sudan, selling you all for $150 a piece. Yeah. So that's a terrible awakening. So I don't know what awakening means. Have you been asleep all that time? Because when they come back, they're going to gentrify you and they're going to privatize every damn thing in Africa.
Robert Anderson, always a very important book. He's quite a few books, or 2 books, major ones, but definitely a brother to look out for. We're joined by Empress Kush. Welcome, Black Betterment to Empress Kush. Black Betterment, sister.
Black Betterment family.
Well, sister, just if you jumped on, what we were tackling is 2 things: Anti-Blackness Apology tour, where we looked at Elon Musk and the Jewish community and how they made him apologize because how they hit him with sponsorships taken away from his brand X, Twitter, and how he had to go on the tour. And we're saying if Black people had a similar one, that would be very important. It's something that we're going to continue anyway. And then we talk about self-love saves money. How if you love yourself, you might be able to save economic money. This comes from, I've got 29 videos of Black people getting the same nose job.
Wow.
Men, women, and children. Well, no, let me not say children. That's wrong. Men and women. We get one example here of a gentleman. I'll take it back. So there's the African nose, very, very, very woman-loving looking brother. And the women will, I'm sure, find the best pleased, but there we go. There's his nose, just letting you know, zoom in. And there's his new nose, just more definition, I guess. He wants more of the bridge, and there's beforehand. Looks like traditional African. No, and now he wants the point, kind of the elf kind of style, I guess. They go for that. So yeah, and then I came across I assume somewhere in Turkey region around there, I could be wrong, where a lot of brothers and sisters are going and paying all their money to have their nose changed. So yeah, we were saying that, well, despite what we might think, it costs a lot of money. And we also thought of this sister as well.
Thank you.
No problem.
Let's rewind it.
May I ask where are you from?
What? I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm African, but honestly, I like Americanized African men. He's just a little too African. Not in any insulting way, honestly.
I'm not, if you know me. Surprised.
That's acceptable.
Not at all.
So what made you say he's too African?
I think the strong facial features, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what part of Africa are you from?
I'm half Kenyan, half Ghanaian, so I'm like East and West.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
There you go. So we looked at I don't know. Sis, I'm not too sure what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just allow my other one on.
Oh yeah. Have you got? Oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it. There you go. So I'm thinking that, yeah. What's this number one? There it is. Makes sense. There you go. Yeah. So sister, I don't know how much you heard, but we have Anti-Blackness Apology Tour and Self-Love Saves Money. That's what we deal with.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I saw that it's called a rhino something. I think
Yeah.
and that's the name for that procedure, right?
It is.
So
That's correct.
it'd be actually quite interesting to look into the numbers of how many people have actually got that done.
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
think we're very focused on BBLs and things like that, but I think that was the original BBL. I think before BBLs, I reckon that was going on a lot.
yeah. Well, I've got 20.
Even like you remember way back with Michael Jackson and the whole nose jobs and stuff.
Yeah. I've got I've got quite a few videos here. Let's see. So oh, you've got too many videos. Sorry, let me get rid of some of these. Remove. Oh, I do have a lot, don't I? Remove brother Respect. Well done, brother. Let's get rid of the Elon Musk one. The Black. I also found a Black UK Love page, which I'm gonna try to talk to the guy. So see, if we can promote it, if as long as it's traditional love all the way. But it's good to have a Black UK Love page as well. Let's see this one. There's another one. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, this it's like a kind of
rhinoplasty.
yeah. I don't know what the rhino means. Is that like rhinoceros kind of thing, or is
Yeah, so it's in the nose.
I see.
I've heard about this. This is that's why I said I think that people would be surprised to think that's the first kind of plastic surgery that was going around, because like I said, there was a lot of rumors back in the day of certain Black celebrities who have had this done.
Yes.
So like this is when like the elite, like the Hollywood types. So yeah, this is I think is if this is still happening, it's crazy. It's definitely a waste of money. It's definitely a form of self-hate and conforming to the Western imagery of beauty and everything that we know there. I'm honestly quite surprised to see men getting it done. I did think it would probably be an epidemic amongst Black women.
It is, but
yeah,
many black men are now jumping down that kind of avenue. Let me see who's this one.
Do you know how much it is for that then, or?
I'm gonna find out because I'm assuming it's a mortgage, but maybe they're going to Turkey these days.
Definitely a mortgage.
Yeah. Let's get Sister Melody Goddess. Welcome to the Betterment Broadcast, Melody Goddess, Black Betterment.
Peace, Black Betterment, everyone.
Peace, sis, Black Betterment. Welcome.
So we're just looking at this plastic rhino or something like this, or rhino plastic or something, I think.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's definitely from the side profile. You can see
and fat transfer to the chin. What are we doing?
Okay. All right, I didn't even see that one here.
Wait, what did she do? She got fat added to her chin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a famous nose thing called the rhinoplasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just looking at
which is just the nose job to make them look a bit more Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's look at the no makeup before
4
that.
years. Ethnic it's ethnic now.
Yeah. That's why my
that
friend
one must be specific for the Black women.
Yeah. So, and this is what there's some people
because it's not just Black women who used to have like nose jobs. Obviously, like the Jewish community constantly had issues in regards to them being stereotypes and things like that. So the fact that they're now calling it an ethnic rhinoplasty is very telling, I think.
Yeah. And there's a lot
specific for Black people.
There's much. I got that. I think I've got 20 downloaded, but there's much more than 20 on there.
Okay, wow. Oh, dude.
You know, like I said, definitely. And speaking to men, there you go. It's a topic we have to really tread on very lightly, because the thing is, and I was saying this in some talk the other day, it's like you're dealing with people who are going through obviously some kind of traumatic experience, and you don't want to trigger even more when you discuss it, or you try to add your kind of overview, whatever. But definitely, what one thing we can say is it would be more cost effective if Black people love themselves. So that could be a kind of strategy where, you know, the distinctive, unique ethnic phenotype you have is praised, and that way you could save a mortgage. Maybe like a mortgage, you keep your nose in and you get a house. I don't know. It's because I assume that's because I've talked to people who've had surgery before, like when I did my debates and stuff, and the prices was like, you know, anywhere from 3 to 15 to 20 grand, and going up depending on what they wanted. And I know that in certain places that you can get like get your mother a house, or your, you know, whatever. So I don't know. But once again, you know, anyone who wants to talk about this, or they've gone through it, or they want to have their own time to give their testimony, they can, you know, this is the place, you know, because you will know more than we do. But we definitely see there's economic thing there, and also there's a self-esteem, something that we have to talk about, you know, like, because a lot of the features that you're changing are actually quite ethnic distinct, you see. So yeah, there's a much of your ethnicity you're removing. You know, but we can discuss it. You know, no one is judging. No one is judging. Yeah.
I think it's a very sensitive topic. You know,
Right.
I think it's definitely in regards to insecurities and the exposure of mainstream propaganda. So
Yes.
I do think it's a very sensitive topic. I was just more just shocked with, you know, the images.
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew that this kind of thing existed, like I said, because of old Hollywood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've just been so used to just the whole BBL kind of
Movement. Yeah.
yeah, that I guess I kind of forgot about this.
Is this a before picture right here, or is that an after picture? Because I don't see anything wrong with her nose. Like,
well, this is
a white woman.
Yeah, this is a different thing at the moment. So, this woman here, this was what we started before you came on. There's a woman. This is old, or maybe a couple of years, I don't know, but she's asking, do Black women feel supported by Black men? But we're just saying that this kind of like trolling, triggering kind of thing, just to be aware that, you know, non-Black people will use divide tactics as they care, but it's more so for the page and creating division, whilst being with a Black man and trying to emulate Black women, this kind of stuff, right? Sincerely.
Because I've been reading.
Hold on.
Here's a simple question. Because I've been reading some of the comments, and I just want an answer to that question. This is a question for Black women. Do you guys not feel supported by Black men? Do you feel like Black men don't support you? And if so, why?
Yeah, so be very wary of these kind of non-Black people who have these TikTok or whatever it is, you know, things they're asking, like they're you know, they're concerned and they care, you know, and we don't want to use these things to flare up more challenges. But we've answered the question. We answered that question. No, generally Black women tend to not feel that way. Hence why we practice Black Betterment to change that. But we, once again, outside community trying to lead in ain't gonna be a good strategy. So we cover that as well. And ultimately, many Black women. It's interesting that this lady is trying to emulate many, not emulate, take. I think I was debating this online the other day where I mean, you know, trigger warning. We were talking about, you know, some of the challenges in the Black community and how the Black features have been demonized by the non-Black person for so long that obviously, you know, it causes inward challenges. And then I think some Asian woman was trying to tell me that actually, you say that the world doesn't like the Black features, but you find many European women trying to take the Black features, so that means they like it. And I use the analogy that, well, beautiful Africa has diamonds, and the Europeans try to take that but the Africans don't benefit from what they take. So it can't be seen as a compliment. See, they're taking to benefit themselves. So you have to remember that. And we can't have these philosophies where these things are like compliments. They're not really compliments. And it works in our best interest to remember that way of thinking. But yeah, but definitely we're trying to fix this problem. And how we segue, we don't want brothers and sisters to try to emulate these noses and stuff, styles, shapes or whatever, because they don't like their own features. You see, like this gentleman here. This is him there. Looks like your traditional brother. Obviously, he wants to be more elf kind of style, that kind of Christmas elf sort of look, sort of thing. There you go. Kind of reminds me, there's a guy in Sequest. I think there was some Egyptian time traveling Stargate. That's what it's called. And there was a brother I always remember because he was a black brother who they allowed to play Egyptian. So I thought that's interesting. And but his nose looks like it. Not that I want to be looking at people's nose, but I suspect he is one of the first to actually have this kind of stuff. Could be wrong though. But yeah, Black Love. Black Love.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually crazy.
I feel like a lot of I feel like with this trend now where like people are demonstrating their self-hate a lot more by distancing themselves more and more from their identity, from being black. People don't want to be called black. You know, they say all of these things about black. They say, "Oh, I'm not an African. You know, I'm British. I'm American. I'm, you know, like totally wanting to align with Western values, Western identity, Western everything." To me, this nose job thing, and you know, to me, it's just a manifestation of like their mentality of wanting to identify with their enslavers, their colonizers, you know, and having some sort of like Stockholm reaction that they want to look like them, and they want to, you know, dress like them and talk like them, and you know, everything that is actually part of their identity, they reject it.
Thank you for that, sister. Very good analysis. So, family, any kind of like words you'd like to add to that, Empress Kush?
Yeah, no, I agree exactly what sis said. I just think it's a matter of it's just more of a sign of self-hate and identifying with the conforms of what the Western perceives as beauty. That's what it is, isn't it? And I think those of us who know better just also knows that we have to just deal with it with quite a sensitive kind of way, because it's not a sign of confidence, is it? Going through that kind of procedure. It's not a sign of loving self. It's not any of those signs. It screams out the opposite. So yeah, I just kind of think that's what I think. I'm quite surprised how many people are still getting this done though. Like, it's just wild. But I think, like with most things, I think when it comes to plastic surgery and things like that, it was kind of just only reserved for wealth and money and Hollywood, and it was just that kind of sphere that used to do it. And now anyone can go to Turkey and get their bum done, their teeth done, now their nose done, anything. You know, like white women have been getting plastic surgery way before us anyway, at a young age, for them to get Botox and all this stuff that they've been tanning since they were whatever age. And so, but I think for us as a culture, I'm still kind of like, I still get surprised seeing the fact that you can bring up this much. And they look quite young, people getting this done. It's wild. I remember growing up and it was just always like, you know, black people don't tend to get black surgery, you know, black don't crack. And now it's just the kids, literally of kids' age, are literally going getting their teeth done, getting a BBL. um, literally in their young ages. It's just crazy. So it is an issue, and I think the only saving grace about things like this is that the shameless culture is when they get what they call a quote unquote botched job, there'll be plenty, as much as people as you see getting these kind of surgeries, you'll see a whole bunch of videos of people telling you about how it was the worst mistake that they ever did, and they'll tell you all the horror stories. So I don't know, just whether or not the algorithm will add it up. You'll probably just see a list of people just getting it done rather than you. I don't know how much people end up getting the videos of the people who got it done and regretted it. That's the problem. So, but in regards to you doing the thing in regards to the Jewish tour, I know. Did you only just mention Elon Musk? Was that the only person you mentioned?
Well, I only found news report on him, but obviously Kanye West did some. I think he did. Kanye West, and what's his name? Nick Cannon did some. I didn't find it.
Nick Cannon, Whoopi Goldberg as well. So I did check on someone as well. I'm not sure if Brother Musa or was it Brother Razor that was here last week, if they're still here, or the American brother that came on, but I heard about a guy called Deshaun Jackson in July 2020, American footballer. Deshaun Jackson ignited a controversy when he published several anti-Semitic social media posts, including a fake Hitler quote that Jews will blackmail America, and another one featuring the anti-Semitic leader of the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, which that's just a loaded statement on its own. So he published something from Louis Farrakhan, so therefore it was anti-Semitic. So in the months following the outcry over his post, Jackson had to apologize for them, saying that he was owning up to his mistakes and was also taking the proper steps to educate. And this is what I was saying before, the apology tour, then they take steps where they have to go to a museum or something like that. So these were the points I was making. So again, I'll go back to it. So it says, in the months following the outcry over the post, Jackson apologized for them, saying that he was owning up to his mistakes and was also taking the proper steps to educate. In addition, Jackson took part in a Zoom meeting with a 94-year-old Holocaust survivor and accepted invitations to visit both the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum as well as Auschwitz. And this is what I'm saying, and there's a load of them that you could just do the Google. Charlie Sheen also, he said something about it. He got Mel Gibson. It's not just black people. It's just a consensus that this is another one I found as well. Jamie Foxx.
Harry Irving as well.
Yep, yeah, I got that. Yep. Jamie Foxx got almost cancelled, or who was cancelled for a little while, when he said he did a tweet on. So a host of celebrities have spoken out after Jamie Foxx issued an apology for an Instagram post that saw him accused of anti-Semitism. On August the 4th, Oscar-winning Ray star Jamie Foxx shared a since deleted Instagram post that read, "They killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you?" I'll quote, this is what he got cancelled for. And
wait, how was that anti-Semitic?
Exactly. Right. So again, he had to go on an apology tour as well. In fact, the girl from Friends, Rachel, she publicly bashed him for it as well to get sympathy. So this is the thing. So we could keep going on. And
wait, you might miss a point. Was the Friends woman ex-lover? Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong with that one. Right?
Yeah, no, she's not the ex-lover.
Okay, because I know he was with. Is that you talking about
Oh,
Jamie
he was
Foxx?
with a white woman. I know
He's
you're
with a
talking
lot.
about.
He's worked for a lot of European women. Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx.
yes.
For a lot.
Who, Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx is with a lot of European women.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, tremendously, yes.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But you know what? I heard.
I don't be knowing they dating life.
What'd you say, sis?
I said I don't be keeping up with their dating life, so I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Did,
I mean,
did
this is
you
the
hear
thing.
rumors that he was with who's that man? Oh, what's his name? He's a
Cruise.
Scientologist.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
He
Tom
wasn't.
Cruise.
That when he was sick, it was Hershey he was thinking of. So you remember he was quite ill not too long ago. It was her he was thinking of in his kind of sick.
Who's her?
She's basically the wife of Tom Cruise, ex-wife of Tom Cruise, who was
Yeah,
the
I know who you're
Scientologist.
talking about.
And
And
she
that
acted in Dawson's Creek or
person,
something, some kind of show with some kind of show.
Dawson's Creek, I think, or
I think
something.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, the brunette. So do you know the guy who she was famous, he made her famous because he jumped on Oprah's couch announcing his love for her. And I remember they were in Scientology, and there was this whole thing that when she was pregnant, she couldn't scream out, and the laws of giving birth. That's how I remember her. But since she left Jamie Foxx, that guy that we were talking about, Tom Cruise, it was alleged that her and Jamie Foxx were in a relationship. So I think that's who brother was talking about. Yeah. But no, Rachel is the white woman who's from Friends, like the sitcom Friends. So yeah, she just randomly, I think what had happened was when this broke out with his tweet where he said, they killed Jesus, what do you think they'll do to you? When that got exposed, they saw that she had liked the tweet. So she had to come out and bash him. Like, she just bashed him. I don't know how that tweet got liked. I think it's disgusting. So she started bashing him, and then it just become a whole big thing. It was only in 2020, so it was a little few years ago. But it's just, I think it is Kate something. So I just think it's just to say that this kind of thing that I was saying is a consistent. So not everybody, like, for example, Charlie Sheen that I read about, he refused to apologize. And we've known what's happened to his career, and he's had rape scandals and everything subsequently. So what I was saying is that the pattern for me is that you offend them, you have to apologize, you pay money into the quote unquote charity, and then you have to go and listen to their history, and you do the apology tour. And I just think that if you look back, that's consistent.
Well, I'm saying what we got to do to get somebody to go on the anti-black tour, like, you know what I'm saying? That right there is listen. It's people afraid to even say Jewish, Jew, whatever. You can't even say the word. They be like, oh, small hats, and like they like we need to have them shook to say. We need to have them shook to say, go back to Africa. Oh, you're anti-black. We need to put claims of anti-blackness. They need to be canceled for anti-black comments. We need to make that term anti-black go viral. We need to make it be important and have some emphasis, some power behind it.
Man,
where black people will cancel you. We won't support you. And if you start, at least in America, 13%, with a $1 billion buying power, they want our $1 billion. And we need to be like, we definitely plan on withholding it if we make anti-black statements.
Definitely.
Not only that, but we're going to broadcast it so even the non-black people who, have a conscience, they also won't support it too. So you might even get hit even bigger. Like, you can't just keep being mad at the Jewish people for having power. Like,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, we can't. For them flexing their muscles and supporting their own community, we can't be mad at them. We need to be able to do the same.
Absolutely. And that's what I was saying last week, like in regards to what happened to Diane Abbott. If we had something like that, then that would happen right now to that multi-millionaire who's got money to donate 15 million to a party. Like, we need some of that. Do you know what I
Well,
mean? You just need us.
It
That
don't
would.
work.
So
Because we're gonna continue it, and we're coming to the end at the moment. Let's have homework of what do we want to see on that tour for next week. Then, what would we like to see happen? So it could be, you know, they visit a black-owned this, or they fund a black school, or something, whatever. Right? Just what list of things we could do so we can actually start getting this, you know, this bill. I guess the bill, isn't it, really? A behavior bill, and we present it to the community. Well, this is what we reckon should happen. You know, this is how you get forgiven. You know.
Well, you see how they get the education piece. I think education. So they may need to attend a African studies program at one of a big university that has a renowned African studies program. Where they can learn.
themselves.
Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can educate themselves. Go
So
ahead.
they can educate themselves. Yeah. So some form of education, a formal apology, and donation to a charity. I think those three things. Yeah, that's a good. My bad. For offending your community.
Yeah.
Family, any last words? Because we put in the top. Any last words before we go?
I would just say, oh, you go ahead, sister.
Oh, sorry. Hi.
Are you good? How you doing? I'm doing great.
Nice to see you on the panel, bro. I was just going to say, this might be a bit off subject, but it was just because you mentioned Jamie Foxx and you was going through the pictures. I just wanted to mention, I don't know if you wanted to do this on a topic for next week, but I did hear an interview. I just can't remember who it was, but it was someone that I actually quite rated, which is, quite rare. But they were saying about Jamie Foxx, because I think the person was saying that Jamie Foxx, all he's interested is in white women, right?
Yeah.
And the black person, it was a black man that was speaking, and he said, actually, Jamie Foxx loves black women, but he only gets pictured with white women. The only pictures they take is when he's with white women.
Interesting.
And I just wondered what the family thinks. Like, is that just a cop out, or is there something to that?
Yeah,
because
I
there's
think
a
it's
lot
very
to be said. So, I think it could be a bit.
Wait, what did you say, Raven? I didn't hear what you said, Raven.
I think it's very fascinating. I think that kind of could go on, but you got to take things with a pinch of salt in a sense, because he's a comedian. Some of the things he said, like I've heard him say jokes that I think on Juneteenth for Black History Month, he's not allowed to date any white women. So he's made these kind of jokes. Yeah. As in that's his commitment on Black History Month, to not date white women on that month alone. So he's made them kind of jokes where he's acknowledged that he's with so many European women that he has to dedicate a month to not be around them. Something like that. But once again, he's a comedian, so he's trying to get. I assume, but who knows? I don't know. Comedy, humor, this kind of stuff. But yeah.
So what you say? You don't believe it then? Like, once you see them pictured with a few of them, then the consensus should be in. Because I'm not either way, and you know how my thoughts are. I'm just saying that was quite an interesting, because I always just thought, okay, Jamie Foxx is for the white woman. So to hear someone who was in his inner circle, again, they could just be backing him up or whatever, right? I don't know the intentions, but it was something. I think the reason why I'm giving it thought is because I never gave that a potential option. Does that make sense? I saw Jamie Foxx and thought, yeah, he's just one of them guys that just love white women. But to hear that, he dates a lot of black women, but they just don't make the pictures. They don't make the front page pictures on these mainstream magazines. And a part of me is like, I didn't actually.
That's something we can look into. I think for me, one thing what I would recommend we try to do, there's more so towards the men, is men are going to marry what they want to marry, but I would say it's an open conversation about what is the best option for black men, because and that's why I say, like, we have to acknowledge that economically we're struggling, and is there a value in constructive black men marrying constructive black women, regardless of if whoever people pick? Because what would be good is to have a consensus of, yes, we admit that marrying a black woman is better for black people collectively, but we don't want to. That would be that's a good conversation to have. You see,
Yeah.
because then it paints a picture of us being collectively inadequate, and that's important. You see, because we have to get, rather than setting someone up to defend their actions, as in universal love and all this kind of good stuff that's fantastically sounding. It's just admitting that actually, and also one thing is we're aware that the self-hate in our community is so strong that we've demonstrated people getting their face down, not necessarily knowing self-hate. So it's hard to discern whether people will never marry within their group because they have some form of self-hate. And this is the thing. So we want to have that open conversation, like marry who you want, but do you admit that it's better for black people collectively to marry a black woman? You see? Economically, spiritually, self-esteem wise, historically, all the leads, right, you can think of. Would you agree with that? And once they agree, okay, now you're free, go where you want. And we want to get that as a kind of clip where people are just admitting that it is better for black people to marry black people, for black people to progress. Let's get it simple, regardless if they don't choose to and they've got reasons why they don't. Yeah, I think
that's the perfect Black Betterment answer on that, bro.
There you go. Now, any last words from the other panels before we jump off?
Yeah, what was the brother gonna say? I wanted to hear what he had.
Go ahead, brother. He's a special guest who we want to see more. So go ahead, brother.
No, I was just gonna say, in regards to holding people accountable for their anti-blackness, and this goes with any solution. I mean, to me, the root of all our problems is psychological. I think that our pathology makes it to where we are in the condition we're in right now. So let's say, for instance, somebody says something anti-black. When you have a large portion of your community that have anti-black sentiments themselves and practice anti-blackness on a daily basis, how are you going to then get that population to hold somebody else accountable for doing something that they already do? So my thing is,
right,
until we get to the root of the problem, which is we have to address our pathology collectively, none of the solutions that we propose, because people like Dr. Amos Wilson, even the brother that you had economically, Claude Anderson with Powernomics, the solutions are already out there. The problem is we don't have the psychology to implement and practice the solution. That's the thing. Until we get correct the psychological errors that we have and our error in behavior and our pathology, nothing that we propose people are going to do. That's the main hurdle that we have.
That's a fact, but that's a hard task. How do you propose to do that?
So
the pathology of a people that are so broken.
To me, you have to go all out on the youth within your community. Most of your psychological concepts.
I don't know if it's me, but the brother's breaking up.
Brother, you've been saying something constructive, and the Anglo algorithm is attacking you. This is what happened. So we forgive us. Yeah, still. Anytime you say something constructive, it goes after you very hard. But what I would say, and also Brother Foster, maybe next week, he said that he has a black parent, and he asks his black uncles about why they would always want to be with non-black women, white women in particular, and they always give excuses. So it'd be good if you could maybe next week we could follow up on that. You're always welcome on the show here, brother. But we're gonna have to end quite soon now. But this might lead to next week's question about that solution about that's already out there. But any last words? Hopefully the brother's microphone's working. Freaking, is it working out bad, brother? No, not to worry. Please come back next week, and we'll get you on. But any last things, Melanie? Got this sister before you go?
I asked Brother Foster for to elaborate on his comment because I was interested in it too. He said, I'm biracial and I've asked my dad and uncles why they only check white women and they make up BS excuses. So I asked, what are the typical ones that they say? And he said they say there were not black girls around, but this was back in the 70s. They go blues party. So it's not about not being around black women. And the wickedest thing is, I rate him for saying that because the thing is, and Melanie could testify that when she'd asked the questions to a lot of UK brothers on here, what was the answers you used to get, sis, consecutively?
That there weren't any it's more Europe it has more white women, that it's not like in the United States where they have black communities and have, like a lot of black people, it's only a few a very smaller population, so you just end up being with a white woman.
Brothers have been saying the same chat since the 70s.
Yeah, there you go. Brother, last word before you go, brother. See if your mic works. No, not to worry.
Dang, what's going on with your mic?
Frustrated.
Oh man.
Your own time next week. Not to worry. Just come your special guest as always. But until everyone, I have to go. I've got another meeting coming right literally soon.
Okay,
so family, you have Black Betterment tool.
Yeah, Black Betterment. Peace.